My name is Jamel Boukabou. I'm a two-star executive with Youngevity International, and this is week number 33 with the world-renowned Dr. Joel Wallach, who is a naturopathic doctor, has a book in the Smithsonian, speaks at the UN, recently spoke at the Tesla event. I could go on and on and on. And I would also like to thank all the current participants, whether you be a customer or a distributor, and welcome all the new people as well. This call is recorded and will be uploaded to the New Zealand Facebook page. The official corporate page usually takes a day or two for myself and my team to do that. The minutes will be in the comments of the video. So if Dr. Wallach is giving a protocol to you or one of your associates today, no problem. You can go back and replay that. And that will be all available with the archives, which are on the New Zealand official Facebook page. I would like to mention I'm not a doctor or a healthcare professional. I am a Youngevity distributor. So please, for your health advice, consult your healthcare professional. But here is who I believe is the best doctor on the planet, Dr. Joel Wallach. Welcome to week number 33, mate.
Well, thank you so much, Jamal. You and your team are great, and I always enjoy being with you. I spent a lot of time in Australia when I was in the Air Force, so I know the area pretty well. There's a lot of things going on with this COVID thing. And whenever there's disasters, whether it's local or regional or worldwide, it's always the kids who pay the price. It's always the older grandmas and grandpas who pay the price. One of the reasons why my thesis for my postdoctoral fellowship is in the Smithsonian Institute, I showed in 1977 there were no genetically transmitted diseases. There were no genetically transmitted birth defects. There are birth defects that are caused by early viral infections, such as we have the COVID thing now going on early in pregnancy, it damages the embryo. And then there's also things that go on with poisons. If people contact some kind of toxin can cause a birth defect. The biggest cause of birth defects always, and certainly when there's events going on like now with the COVID thing, people don't eat right, they don't supplement, and they have a glass of wine or whatever, and they just start hugging each other, and they create a pregnancy. And when that happens, prenatal vitamins are called prenatal vitamins because you're supposed to take them for like 6 months before you get pregnant. Taking them 2 months after you're pregnant, the baby's going to be in trouble. Okay, and so it's one of those things. If you're in the childbearing years, ladies, you definitely want to stay away from the bad foods. No fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat bran, no sugar. Take the 90 essential nutrients. And two things are going to happen. Number one, you're going to be safer because your immune system will be happy that you're getting all these nutrients and you're giving up gluten so you can absorb the nutrients. Your bone marrow will be able to make white blood cells and antibodies and red blood cells and platelets to go kill and eat the virus. But also, if you do get pregnant, the baby will have the best chance of being born normal. Okay. Now, it's one of those things where I don't think the OBGYNs and the gynecologists talk enough about that. They just says, and of course they have these self-test kits in the pharmacies. I think you have them there in Australia like we have here. You miss a period, the ladies miss a period or two, they go get tested. Oh, they go to the doctor and say, yeah, I missed 2 periods and I took one of those tests and I'm pregnant. Well, that embryo is probably in trouble. Okay. There's like 1,000 different birth defects, and they're all related to, with the exception of poisons and viruses, the rest of them are all related to nutritional deficiencies of the developing embryo. So it's really a big responsibility for potential parents to make sure both the male and female have taken all the 90 essential nutrients and you're avoiding the bad stuff. Now, when you look at who is having the worst time of this pandemic thing, it's in the United States. We have 32, as of this morning, we have 32,305,912 infections. That's 25% of the world's infections of the COVID, 25%. We have 579,942 dead, which is 25% of the world's deaths from the COVID thing. Okay. And so this is pretty scary when you have that. When you look at India, okay, with 1.4 billion people, they have 171,000 dead. In America, we only have 332 million people. and we have 32 million dead. Okay, we have 3 times, 32 million infections. We have 3 times the infections that India has, and we have 3 times the dead also. And that's because we're eating gluten, and that's why we have trouble. Now in India, they're a homogenous people, but they do have the 9 northern states. They have 95% of the deaths from COVID and 85% of the infections. The southern 20 states and southern territories, they only have 5% of the deaths and only 14% of the infections. So what's going on there? Well, northern India, the 9 northern states live on nothing but wheat, barley, rye, and oats. Okay, their villi are dead in their intestines. They can't absorb nutrients, and they don't tend to supplement with commercial supplements. They do eat seaweed, okay, because the eastern, southern, and western part of India is surrounded by ocean. And so they do get the seaweed, which has some minerals in it. So that's good. And but that's the southern 2/3, southern 20 states and 7 territories. And that's why there's disparity of the number of dead and number of infections between regions. Now, the same thing happens in every place. Now, I know that in Australia, you have 25 million people, okay? And you have 29,000 infections and 910 dead. And so when you look at something that's very similar to your population, let's look at, let's pick one here. Let's look at, that's going to be close. Okay, yeah. Let's look at Taiwan with 24 million people. Okay, Taiwan has 10 dead, and Australia has 910 dead. Taiwan has 1,000 infections, and Australia has 29,000 infections. So what's the difference? Well, Australia is living a lot like England, and that they do eat wheat and barley, rye, and oats, and they drink wheat, barley, rye, and oats as beer and scotch and bourbon and rye whiskey and that kind of stuff. Although you do have some good rice beer, which I like. And so it's a matter of Taiwan is living like Asians, and they just eat nothing but rice and maize, corn, beans, sweet potatoes, squash, and seaweed. And so that's why they have such a low weight, because they get the nutrients from the seaweed, and the nutrients go into the bone marrow and make antibodies and red blood cells and white blood cells and platelets to defend against the COVID virus. Let's look at another one here. Let's look at Hawaii, which is kind of a neighbor. You always have a lot of Hawaii participants in your Zoom, so I'm very proud of that. And so here we go. In Hawaii, they have 1.5 million people, 1.5 million, okay? And they have 31,000 infections and 474 dead, very close to Australia, even though they have like 1/20th of the population that you guys have. And then you look at New Zealand with just about 5 million people. Let's look at Colorado. Okay, Colorado with 5 million people. New Zealand has 26 dead, and Colorado, our state, has 6,200 dead. New Zealand has 2,591 infections, and Colorado has 477,443 infections. What's the difference? Well, Colorado has a very high rate of Latinos, which live on wheat, barley, rye, and oats, kills the villi in their intestines, and they tend not to supplement, and that's why they have a big deal. I'll give you one more here, and then we can turn it over to some Q&A. Because this is an international call, I'm going to go with, let's see here. Let's go with Thailand and the UK. You know, originally your mother country, right? The UK, United Kingdom. It's made from England, Northern Ireland, Scotland, and Wales, and they have 67 million people. We're going to compare them to the deaths and sickness or infections in Thailand, 67 million people. A typical classical Asian nation. Okay, so The UK has 127,000 dead. Thailand has 95 dead, not 9,500, 95,000, just 95 dead versus 127,000 dead in the UK. Now, Thailand has 29,000 infections, and the UK has 4.3 million infections. What's the difference? Well, Thailand's living like Asians. They're eating maize, corn, rice, sweet potatoes, beans, squash, and seaweed. And the UK is living on wheat, brown, rye, and oats, and they're drinking wheat, brown, rye, and oats. And so this is a dietary cultural thing. It's not a racial thing. When you look at various countries, and there's another comparison I got to share with you, and that is Nigeria and Brazil. Brazil is the biggest landmass country in South America. Nigeria is a big country in the western coast of Africa. Nigeria is made up of 98% Black tribal people, okay? Brazil is 47% white European immigrants and 47% mulattoes, okay? They're a dual genetic mix, okay? And they're half Black and half white mixed, okay? That's why they're mulattoes, and then 9% Black. Well, Brazil has 330,000, almost 331,000 dead. Nigeria has 2,000 dead. Same population, 208 million. Brazil has 13 million infections, and Nigeria has 163,000 infections. Well, what's going on there? Well, Nigeria lives on rice, maize, corn, beans, squash, sweet potatoes, and seaweed. Lives like Asians, and Brazil, they live on wheat, brown, rye, and oats because the Europeans brought those things in 300-400 years earlier. And so it's a dietary thing. On the surface, it looks like it's a racial thing, but when you compare a country like Nigeria, which is 98% Black African tribes people, with this mixed race country, Brazil, you'd think the numbers would be reversed. But it's the diet that's making Brazilians have such a high rate of infections and deaths. And it's the diet that have the Nigerians, which are 98% Black tribal people, having only 2,000 dead and 163,000 infections. So this is well documented. I've got 50 comparisons like this. We don't have time to go into them all today, but they all say the same thing. And so if everybody were to eat like Asians, live on maize, corn, rice, sweet potatoes, beans, squash, and seaweed. Of course, we have our Fucoid Z and our Ocean's Gold. We have all these seaweed products. And that's why we started making the seaweed products about 20 years ago, because we wanted people to get the same things that the Asians are getting and have the same benefit for health, especially against infectious diseases and longevity and that kind of stuff. So this is not just some casual theory. This is well documented, unimpeachable data. And so, this is why we have the whole story in the book in the CD set called Hell's Kitchen. And we have the early warning signals in the CD called red warning lights. And it goes into 8 or 9 pre-existing conditions that set you up for a bad thing. They're all nutritional deficiencies. Okay, diabetes, high blood pressure, obesity, heart disease, arthritis, all these things. If you have any of those, many people have 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 10 of them. And they are in big trouble because they're all nutritional deficiencies. And when the COVID comes on them, they are the ones who get seriously ill, get hospitalized, and die. Okay, to you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Wallach. And every single week we have more information. And don't forget, we can go back to the archives. So being week number 33, we're going to have 33 weeks of Q&A with Dr. Wallach that everybody can use. And I just want to thank Doc again for giving us his time.
Well, we're family.
Thank you very much, Dr. Wallach. Yes. And I also want to thank all the participants as well, because we couldn't do it in this format if everybody didn't, help
participate. Yeah.
Participate. And what we like to do at the end of the call, if somebody has a good news story with Dr. Wallach's protocol, please put it in the comments section there, and moderator Mike or myself will get to that so we can end the call on that. And that's always a good way to finish. We're going to go to callers now. Jeanne, Jeanne has a question. I think you've been on the call before. Jeanne, if you want to unmute yourself, tell us where you're from and go ahead and speak to Dr. Wallach. Looks like she's going for the unmute button now. Go ahead.
Hello,
Hi,
Jane.
Doc. How you going?
Okay, what's going on?
No, I live in Melbourne. I have several friends who have, I know several different people that have sleep apnea. I've never seen it addressed in any of your books, and I was wondering if you knew what caused it or what can be done about it.
Okay, well, sleep apnea can be caused by a variety of things. And usually people, they'll take little 10-minute naps all through the day kind of thing, but they never really have a good 6 or 8 hour night's sleep. And it could be because they're having 6 cups of coffee a day. They're drinking soft drinks or energy drinks with caffeine in them. But also your brain requires certain nutrients for all the biochemistry to work properly. So that's why we have the Healthy Brain and Heart Pack. Number one, they need to give up all the bad foods to maximize absorption of these nutrients that the brain needs. So no fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, bran, rye, no sugar, and certainly no drinks and products that have caffeine in them. And then I would also have them take one of the Healthy Brain and Heart Packs for 100 pounds of body weight. We have a product called Sleepies. They can take 3 of those twice a day. The Sleepies, okay, it's 2 bottles a month. I also like them to take our seaweed, our Fucoid Z, 3 of those twice a day, and our Ocean's Gold, 3 of those twice a day. I take 3 of each twice a day because they come from 2 different oceans. And so I'm getting different minerals and different amounts and ratios and so forth. Okay. And then also, it's one of those things where you want to eat 3 eggs twice a day per 100 pounds of body weight. Eggs give your brain what it needs to be able to make the biochemistry so the brain cells can talk to each other. 75% of the brain weight is cholesterol. Okay, so if a doctor says, you can't eat eggs, I'm gonna put you on a statin drug, your cholesterol is too high. Well, he's setting you up for sleep apnea. Okay, because then your brain doesn't work properly because 75% of your brain weight is cholesterol. Your hormones don't work properly because 95% of the hormones are cholesterol. So it's absolutely essential. You eat those 3 eggs with soft yolks. Hard-boiled eggs won't count, okay, because you kill the cholesterol. And then fried eggs don't count because you cause the fats in the eggs to turn into trans fats, heterocyclamines, and acrylamides, which cause cancer. So you want to stay away from that. Even these air fryers turn the fats, whether it's in eggs or meat or fish, into the bad things, like, again, trans fats, heterocyclamines, and acrylamides. So even the air fryers are dangerous. So these are things that all can be done to help with sleep. And so, have this, is it your husband, you say? Jane? Is that your husband that has a sleep apnea?
No, I just have a number of friends that do.
Okay. Yeah. And so they need to change
a little bit, but not bad.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you need to have people on, kind of a caffeine-free diet for a while, and get them on the supplements. Make sure they're having their eggs, and this will all come right because it's not a genetic thing. It's not an autoimmune thing. It's just a simple nutritional deficiency. Okay.
Thanks, Jeanne. Thanks for that. And Dr. Wallach has been talking about flucoidin a lot, and one that we can get, and we've recommended this product on previous calls. You can get this product on auto ship in Australia, New Zealand, US, and Canada. This is called Zerotest. For the women, it's called Zerofem. It's one of the Proline range. It does have flucoidin in it. And it does help men's, what would you say, men's general health and those kinds of things?
Well, sexual, it's, it helps them with their sexual health and activity, people with ED, erectile dysfunction, and so forth. But if they have those things, in addition to taking the big heavy hammer, the Healthy Brain and Heart Pack and the Zerotest, I would also, because there's circulation involved, okay, and sexual activity. And so they need to also take 3 of the Ultimate Daily Classic tablets twice a day for circulation, so that they're getting the blood supply, they're getting the raw materials to make testosterone. Eat the 3 eggs twice a day, which is the cholesterol. 95% of testosterone is cholesterol.
Right.
Don't be getting on any statin drugs and expect to have a good sex life.
That's a great statistic there too, Doc. So thank you for that information. Thanks, Jeanne. I'm going to go to the next caller. We do have Susan in Hawaii. Susan in Hawaii. Susan, how are you?
Aloha, I'm in the car. I'm good.
Okay,
Aloha.
go ahead and ask Dr. Wallach your question.
Dr. Wallach, I have someone that was diagnosed with venomous edema with inflammation of the legs, and it's a female. So I was thinking maybe she should take this Youngevity Women's FX with black cohosh because she's a senior.
Okay, is she 70, 80, 90 years old? How old is she?
67.
Okay, do you have any idea how much she weighs?
Yes, 245 pounds.
Okay, do you know how tall she is?
She's only 5'2".
Okay, well, 5'2", I'd like to see her weigh 110, so she's 130, 140 pounds overweight. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so what we need her to do is take one of her 3 meals a day, or a keto meal. Okay, it could be a shake or a bar. Start out with just 1 meal a day, and after a month or so, and she's used to that 1 meal and she knows how it works, she might say 2 days a week she could take 2 meals a day, a keto meal. But at 245 pounds, I want her to take get rid of all the bad foods: no fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat bran granules, no sugar. I want her to take 2 bottles a month of the Ultimate Daily Classic tablets. So you can take 3 of those twice a day. That will support healthy blood pressure and healthy blood flow through arteries and veins. Okay.
Okay.
And let's see here. Then I also want her to have her MSM. I want her to get 1 bottle a month of that. So you take 3 of those twice a day. And that's going to help support maintenance repair of connective tissue, whether it's in the artery walls, the vein walls, her cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, skin. And she may have osteoporosis of the skull at her age, 67 years of age, have all kinds of problems. And again, staying away from the bad foods is important. And don't forget those 3 eggs twice a day. And then give us a call every couple of weeks. And certainly anytime she goes and visits the doctor and gets some kind of report from the doctor, jump on and let us know how she's doing. And we'll, tweak things and make sure everything goes right. But this is very simple stuff.
Okay.
Okay.
Now, I don't know if I got it all written down. Jamel, did you write it all down?
They are recorded, Susan.
They're recorded.
I will.
Okay, great.
No problem.
Great.
Okay.
Okay, thank you so much.
Okay, aloha.
Aloha.
Aloha. All righty. Okay, so and Susan came to see Dr. Wallach a few years ago there in Hawaii, and she's been helping people ever since. I'm going to go to the next caller now, which is and by the way, if you do have a different name on your Zoom call, then for me to announce you, please let me know in the call. Amy, go ahead. Amy has a question for an associate, I believe. Go ahead, Amy, and let us know where you're calling from today.
Thank you. Hello, lovely to be here with all of you. I'm in California, and my associate is a female, 40 years old, 155 pounds, and she's 5'3". She's going on 24 years with diabetes, taking insulin. Her digestive issue has, it's been slowing down. She has nervous colitis. She's experiencing pain and burning in her feet. She's also experiencing menopause, insomnia, and constipation.
Okay, I see. Menopause. And did she say anything about ringing in her ears or dizziness?
No.
Any high blood pressure?
She takes medication for hypertension.
Well, that's high blood pressure. Okay. Okay, here we go. Yeah, this is typical. When people have these nutritional deficiencies, she's got like 5 or 6 of them here. Okay, so she's in big trouble if she gets the COVID. These are these pre-existing conditions that are laid out on that CD, the red warning lights. And the subtitle of the book, Hell's Kitchen, is, okay, the cause, prevention, and cure of obesity, diabetes, and metabolic syndrome, which are all the other things we've just discussed. Okay, they throw them all into one big heap called the metabolic syndrome. So she needs to get rid of all the bad foods: no fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat bran granules, no sugar. I do want her to eat 3 eggs twice a day with soft yolks. They cannot be fried. They cannot be hard boiled. And then I want her to have, at 155 pounds, I want her to have 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month. Big hammer because of the COVID thing going on here. 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month, the full dose, everything twice a day. And then because she has a history of diabetes, I want her to take 3 of our sweeties twice a day. That's 2 bottles a month. Don't let her cold turkey off her diabetes medication, but as her blood sugar slowly comes down, doing both our nutrition and the medicine, she can slowly reduce the medication dosage by the numbers, okay? And don't forget the Ultimate Daily Classic tablets, 3 of those twice a day for the healthy blood pressure and supporting healthy blood flow through blocked arteries. The colitis and digestive issues, okay, and constipation, these are all due to gluten problems. Now, this person, Amy, is eating gluten like crazy. Everything she's got from the standpoint of all these diseases is due to nutritional deficiencies, all of which are secondary to gluten. So even if she was supplementing, her efficiency of absorption is going to be way down. And again, if she were to get the COVID, she'd have a very, very bad time. Okay, and then the menopause thing, I want her to, the eggs will help there, because remember, 95% of all hormones, including estrogen, is made from cholesterol. But also I want her to have the Xerafem. I want her to get 2 bottles of our Xerafem, so you can take 3 of those twice a day. And they give her ovaries what the ovaries need to be able to make more estrogen, as long as there's the cholesterol from the eggs as a raw material to make it happen. Okay. And let's see here. She's got to be careful, because if she was taking, and she, in her age here, at 40 years of age, she can still get pregnant if she's cycling, even irregularly. So she needs to be aware that she's got to be careful, okay, with sexual activity, because just a month on these programs, suddenly now she can be fertile. Okay, so she's got to watch out. So a heads up and a warning there. So we've covered the diabetes, we've covered the glucogel, the cholesterol. We've discussed the glucogel, all that kind of stuff. We discussed the foot. She's got, what's going on in her feet? She's got pain and numbness in her feet. Does she have pain and numbness in her feet? Yeah. Does she have gray hair? Do you know? Have you seen this person? Does she have gray hair?
No, I haven't seen her.
Okay, you might ask her that. Okay, but when all these things, that's going to help her cycle that blood and edema and fluid into general circulation, and also the MSM and the vitamin D3. She could take 3 of those twice a day, 2 bottles a month. That's going to help rebuild the disc between the vertebrae. And usually when you have pain in your feet and things going on in your feet and your knees, and ligaments and tendons in your legs, that's a back problem. It's called a peripheral neuropathy, because the real problem's in the back. Okay, and you can treat the foot and nothing's going to happen, because you got to treat the back, which is what we're doing with all this nutrition to rebuild the disc and the bones and cartilage and ligaments and tendons. Okay, so even though it seems like a complicated program here, seems like a complicated issue for this lady, this is all very simple. I deal with literally thousands of people like this every day from all over the world, and within weeks it all goes away.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
You bet.
Thanks, Amy. And if you do have a question, you can also call the corporate offices. So Youngevity is a direct selling company. People like me are distributors that are out in the field. And if you do need to call the office and you've signed up and you want to know about the business, find out who your upline is. Call your upline. They are there to help you build a business, or give you product information as well. The corporate office, where all the products are shipped from, for United States and Canada, is 1-800-9823-189, and they are in San Diego. And for Australia and New Zealand, the corporate office is in Auckland, which is 1-800-756-467. Question from Kevin Grundy. Kev, how you going, mate? If you want to unmute yourself and go ahead and ask Dr. Wallach a question. Good to hear from you.
Hey,
Hello,
Dr.
Kevin.
Wallach.
Yes, sir.
Hello,
How can we
long
help
time
you?
no see. Hey, Doc, a question that gets regularly asked for me is the replacement for the BTT. Obviously, the crystals are the best product by far. Now, and the tablets aren't quite the mustard. What's your recommendation to replace the tablets, the dailies?
Okay, now you have to appreciate the BTT 2.0 crystals has 215 nutrients, including the 90 essential nutrients. The BTT 2.0 tablets are designed to support your immune system and are an anti-inflammatory. They are not an equal exchange for the crystals, because the tablets are not vitamins and minerals. Okay, they're not meant to replace the crystals. Okay, so I take 3 of the BTT 2.0 tablets twice a day because I want the anti-inflammatory effects of it and I want the support of my immune system. But I also take 2 Healthy Brain and Heart packs. I only weigh 142 pounds. And I take a lot of other stuff. I don't have any of these diseases, but I take these things as a precaution, as a preventative. Okay. But you cannot talk about the BTT 2.0 tablets or the BTT 2.5 tablets in the same breath as the BTT 2.0 crystals, because the crystals have 215 nutrients in it. And the other 2 are designed specifically to support the immune system and be an anti-inflammatory.
What about the ultimate class? The ultimate daily. How many nutrients are in that?
Okay, the Ultimate Daily Classic, you have to use the word classic because if you order Ultimate Daily, you're going to get a quart of liquid, vitamins and minerals. Okay, the Ultimate Daily tablets is a totally different thing. And I like people to take 3 of those twice a day per 100 pounds if you have high blood pressure. Okay, or if you have blocked arteries somewhere, if you had kidney failure. Kidney failure almost always is blocked arteries in the kidneys, and the kidneys will release a hormone called renin, which drives the blood pressure up. Okay, and so it's very interesting that the blood pressure goes down very quickly when you get on that Ultimate Daily Classic tablets 3 twice a day per 100 pounds of body weight. So they weigh 150 pounds. You could take 3 with each meal, 9 a day. And so, we have like 600 different products, and they're all designed to do something and maybe go along with another product. But the reason why we came up with the Healthy Start Pack to begin with, because most people don't know enough about nutrition to make up their own system. So we came up with a basic core program called the Healthy Start Pack. But then we realized that people were coming to us with very severe diseases. And so we needed to make it a little bit heavier handed. And we went to the BTT 2.0 not tablets, the BTT 2.0, which has the Healthy Start Pack in it. We've added 115 other nutrients to it to make 215 nutrients. And that's our big hammer in the toolbox. And then we have all these things. If you have diabetes, you can add the sweeties. If you have high blood pressure, the Ultimate Daily Classic tablets. If you have arthritis or peripheral neuropathies, you can throw in the BTT, the MSM. The MSM, take 3 of those twice a day per 100 pounds of body weight, rebuild cartilage and ligaments and tendons and connective tissue. And the vitamin D3, 3 of those twice a day per 100 pounds of body weight. That'll help rebuild bone and bone matrix and help your bone marrow make more white blood cells and platelets and red blood cells and also antibodies. And so we have a system where you can keep adding these secret sauces depending on how many diseases you have. And that's why we want people to listen to this CD, the red warning lights, because it goes through 8 or 9 of these pre-existing conditions. And they set you up for a bad outcome of the COVID virus or any other virus for that matters. Okay. And so it's imperative that you stay away from all the bad foods so you can maximize absorption. You supplement with the 90 essential nutrients and eat properly, stay away from the bad stuff so you can absorb. And I mean, I have people who are on dialysis 6 days a week for 10 years. They're on dialysis 3 days a week for 20 years, same person, because they didn't want to get a kidney transplant. We put them on our program, and in 2 weeks' time, they were starting to urinate again after 10 years of not urinating. So they dropped the dialysis from 6 days a week to 3, and then in 2 more weeks, we're totally off of dialysis after being on dialysis for 25 years. This is what nutrition does. The body wants to heal itself. The body wants to function, but it needs the raw material to do it. And if you're eating gluten and not supplementing, you cannot get what you need from your food. Well, my doctor says I can't. Well, you need to get another doctor because your doctor is slowly killing you. Okay.
Well, Graham, Michelle, how you going? Yes, Michelle's in Brisbane, I think.
How can we help you, Michelle?
Yeah, thank you, doctor. I've got a pregnant woman who's getting very anxious about taking the tangy because the doctors and other people are saying she shouldn't have vitamin A while she's pregnant. I've done a bit of research and it looks like it's preformed vitamin A, which is from animal source. That's the issue with some birth defects. Can you enlarge on that?
Okay, well, vitamin A is one of those essential nutrients, okay, in the 90 essential nutrients. And vitamin A deficiency causes a lot of birth defects in embryos. So any doctor who tells a woman who's trying to get pregnant, who is pregnant, you got to give up your vitamin A, should go to jail, okay? Because if that baby's born with a birth defect, guess what? There's grounds for a lawsuit.
Yeah, she said that the supplements for pregnant women here in Australia, all of them exclude vitamin A from them.
Okay, what I'm going to do, I'm going to do a little bit of research and see what percentage of babies born in Australia have birth defects. I'm going to find out how many were aborted because they have birth defects and the parents didn't want to deal with the baby with a major birth defect. So I'm going to do a little bit of research here and see how much devastation all these prenatal vitamin things are without vitamin A in it. What havoc, what terrible things it's causing. Okay.
Yeah, thank you for that. I've got another lady. She's got in the middle of summer, she's got really cold hands and feet. That's just a quick question on the side. What would be the best thing for her?
Okay, it could be a back problem, could be a neck problem, could be osteoporosis of the skull. It could be circulation problem. How old is she and what does she weigh?
Well, she's still menstruating. She said it gets worse before her period. So I'm not, actually she's 56 kilos.
Okay, that's okay. That's about 130 pounds.
Yeah.
Okay, and how old is she?
Well, I'm guessing she's in her 30s to 40.
Have you seen her yourself?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay. All right. So she needs to get rid of all the bad foods, no fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, bar, rye, oats, no sugar. I want her 130 pounds to get one healthy brain and heart pack per month, but get another bottle of arselenium. Okay.
Yeah.
Not one from the pharmacy or the grocery store, arselenium, because it has 5 cofactors that are necessary to do what I want to get done. So there's one that comes in the healthy brain and heart pack. So she can take 3 at breakfast and 3 at dinner time of arselenium, then a half a dose of everything else twice a day in that healthy brain and heart pack. And then because she is still cycling, I want her to have the Xerafem. She could take 3 of those twice a day. That's 2 bottles a month. Take the Xerafem. She got to eat those 3 eggs twice a day. And then lastly, I want her to get the circulation going in her hands and feet. So I want her to have the Ultimate Daily Classic tablets. So I can take 3 of those twice a day. And then call us every couple of weeks and let us know how she's doing and what's going on. Because this sort of mishmash of symptoms there in the same person tells you that she's got multiple nutritional deficiencies. She's eating gluten. She got to get rid of all that. So there's going to be a process here. Okay.
Yeah, I think she's got a pretty chronic gluten intolerance because she's getting bloating and gas. And I said, do you realize that's going to reduce your body's ability to absorb any nutrition from what you're eating? She didn't know that. And also she's always tired. So I said, well, you're not getting any nutrition, hence you're running out of energy.
Well, if she wants some energy during the day, she can take our Rebounder sports drink.
Yeah.
Okay. We have it in the sticks, 30 of those little bags inside a box, or we have the cases of the 12-ounce cans. I drink 2 of these a day, but I never drink one after 3 o'clock in the afternoon because if I drink it after 3 o'clock, I'm up all night. So I'm very careful about not to drink it after 3.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Michelle.
Recommendations and come back to you.
Thank
you.
you. Okay.
Thanks for your
You bet.
time.
Thanks, Michelle.
Bye. Bye.
Thank you. And okay, so Roman thinks he's got it happening now. Roman, go ahead. Let us know where you're from.
I don't think so.
I don't think so. Roman?
Yeah, you there?
Oh, he's there. Okay, go
All
ahead.
right. Third time lucky. Thanks for persevering with me. Yeah, Roman Sorko here, Australia, Victoria.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been on minerals myself for quite some time. My wife joined me a few years back, and look, we saw a doctor just a couple of days ago who diagnosed this funny syndrome thing. I've forgotten its name. Sorg. What is it? Anyway, the skin.
What is your symptoms?
Itchy skin, skin scaling, and they say that the immune system is attacking the skin.
Oh, okay. So you're talking about an autoimmune disease, kind of like
Yeah,
lupus or something like that?
Something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, they gave her a name. I'm just looking for the name now.
Okay. How much does she weigh? How much does your wife weigh?
100 pounds, just about exactly.
Okay. Now, does she have gray hair?
Yes.
How old is she?
72.
Okay. Does she have any varicose veins or spider veins in her legs and feet?
No, not really, no.
Okay. Does she have any high blood pressure or diabetes?
No.
Okay. Well, the first thing she needs to do is
on the low side, the blood pressure more on the low side.
Okay. So now I want you to listen to me very carefully here.
Yep.
So she needs to get rid of all the bad foods so she can absorb the nutrients.
Yep.
Okay. No fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, brown rice, no sugar.
Right.
Then at 100 pounds, I want her to take 1 healthy brain and heart pack per month.
Yeah.
I also want her to get another bottle of our selenium. So you can take 3 of those twice a day. 1 bottle comes with the healthy brain and heart pack. I also want her to get the MSM, get 1 bottle of the MSM so you can take 3 of those twice a day. That'll support maintenance repair of skin, cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, disc between the vertebrae, bone, makes your bone itself. I also want her to get the vitamin D3, 3 of those twice a day. That's 2 bottles a month to help absorb minerals and put them in the bones and so forth.
Right.
And then I also want her to have, let's see here. I want her to take a sort of anti-inflammatory thing. It's called Cell Shield RTQ. It's kind of like dampens down inflammation. And so, and the itchy skin is secondary to the gluten problems in the intestines. She cannot absorb the nutrients necessary to prevent that. So the Cell Shield RTQ, she could take 3 of those twice a day. If you don't have them out there, you can go again with the Fucoid Z, take 3 of those twice a day, and that will help her with that itchy skin very quickly. Okay.
Right. Thank you.
Okay, but this is a lifetime deal. No gluten, no wheat, no brown rice oats, the 90 essential nutrients, and then things will go good. But you can't get what you need from the food. You cannot get what you need from the food.
Yeah.
Now, in the old days, when we were using wood stoves and fireplaces, people put the wood ashes in their gardens and in their soup and that's kind of stuff, and their porridge, and anytime they would make anything out of chopped up meat and vegetables and things. Okay, they would put the wood ashes in there and they get minerals. Well, now with electricity, they don't have access to that, so you have to consciously supplement.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question, Roman. Would you put dirt from Texas in your car instead of oil?
No, why not?
Well, why wouldn't you? Because there's bound to be some oil in it. That's dirt from Texas. Well, it's a stupid thing, but that's the way doctors think. Well, there's bound to be some vitamins and minerals in those vegetables, so just eat more vegetables. And of course, plants only need 3 elements from the soil. We need 60. So you can be 57 short by following the doctor's instructions.
Dr. Wallach, might be worth noting, she had shingles about 2 years ago. So
okay,
shingles came under control, but there might be some remnants of that.
Okay, well, shingles is a virus, okay? And so she can take our colloidal silver, put a dropper full of give her 2 droppers full under her tongue, 30 minutes for each meal and 30 minutes for a bed. So she'll do it 4 times a day. And the colloidal silver kills all viruses, including what? What'd your wife have?
Oh, surgeon's syndrome. Surgeons, where was
No,
that?
that's not what you said. That's not what you said.
Oh no, shingles. She had shingles.
Yeah, she was a roofer.
Yeah. I tell you what, it came around her
shingles.
neck from the ear down towards.
Yeah, well, shingles are due to a virus, and people get these viruses when they don't have enough defenses, okay? And so that tells me a lot about your wife's eating, and she was eating lots of gluten and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you got to change everything. Otherwise, she'll go to one of these doctors, they'll give her some terrible medications, which will make her feel good for a couple of months, and then she'll die.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, thanks for that. That
bet.
sounds good idea. We went off gluten about 6 months ago. But maybe not 100%, but
Well, you got to be 100%. You cannot
Yeah.
have one cheat meal a month. You cannot have one cheat meal a week. You got to read labels, even if it says gluten-free. In fact, there's a company that makes Oreo cookies, okay, with the chocolate wafers, and there's kind of like a yogurt or something like that in between, or a little cake icing in between the two chocolate cookies. Big letters, 2 inches high on front label, gluten-free. The third ingredient in there is oats. There are no such thing as gluten-free oats. Now, the gluten in oats is called gliadin. And so doctors think, oh, well, it doesn't say gluten, it just says gliadin. Well, that's, you can say, I don't have a car, I have a Ferrari. Same principle.
Yeah. All right, well, great. Thanks for that. And we'll get on to the colloidal silver as well.
Yes, yeah, please do. That'll help you against the COVID too.
Yeah, great. Thank you.
You bet.
All right, thanks, Roman. Trish has a question. Trish, let us know where you're from. And
okay, Trish, what's up?
Hi, Dr. Wallach. This is Trish in Auckland. I heard you talking about sleep apnea before, and I've written down all the requirements for that. But my son has been diagnosed with severe sleep apnea, and he's 43. He's 6'2", and he weighs 275 pounds. So obviously he is overweight. Mostly the doctors will just say you just need to lose weight.
Okay, well, it's a little more complicated than that. And so again, he needs to get rid of all the bad foods. His spouse, his partner, roommate, he cannot work, have to be gluten-free. He cannot work in a bakery. He cannot work in a pizza restaurant kind of thing. Anything where there's going to be gluten, he can't be there. Okay. Then at 6'2", he should weigh like 220, something like that. At 275, he needs to lose about 50 pounds or so. And so I started him out with one of his meals. Doesn't have to start out at two. Start out with one meal a day. Doesn't have to be the same meal every day, or keto caramel diet. It could be the bar or the shake. And then say 2 meals a week, go for 2 meals a day. And then the other meals, I want him to eat like an Asian. Okay, I want him to eat like an Asian: rice, sweet potatoes, corn, beans, squash, and the seaweed. Our seaweed, of course, we have the Fucoid Z and the Ocean's Gold, and he can take 3 of those 3 times a day, three times a day. So he could say take 3 of the Ocean's Gold twice a day and 3 of the Fucoid Z once a day, kind of thing. So that'll cover it. And then that start out with 1 meal a day, the keto caramel meal, and he'll lose a half a pound a day. And when he gets to 2 meals a day, he'll lose 2 pounds a day. It won't take long to get to where he needs to be, but he does need to also take our MSM. He needs to take 3 of those 3 times a day. That'll be 2 bottles a month to help rebuild cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, disc between vertebrae, bone makes your bone itself. Because when you're eating gluten, you're not absorbing nutrients. And even if you're supplementing, he's going to be deficient. So I guarantee he's got some joint problems, popping and clicking or pain kind of thing. So he's got to deal with that. Otherwise, he'll wake up one morning with something really serious. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Appreciate
You
that.
bet.
thanks, Trish.
Yeah.
Well, I think we got time for one more, and I did ask for a good news story. So we do have Doug here today. So Doug, if you want to unmute yourself, let us know where you're from. And
hi, Jamel. Hi, Doc. Thank you very much again, Doc. How are you?
Okay, sir. How can I help you?
Well, it's not a big help, Doc. I think it's more a thank you from my part to yours. When I first started with you, I met you down in the Gold Coast in 2015 when you came over. And in that period of time from 2015 till now, the good news story is really when I came out of chemotherapy, one of the things that I noticed was I had major problems. My sister started me out with Youngevity, my first pack. was the brain and heart pack, and I also had selenium that came through with that. From then till now, I've had absolutely zip problems. I've been as healthy as could possibly be. And for anyone who's going through cancer, let me say, listen to Doc. You know, or you know anyone who's going through cancer, listen to Doc, because out of all of these stories that I got from him, I've been in remission, complete remission now from 9 years now.
And congratulations.
I've managed to stay healthy, Doc, thanks to you. The other part was a few weeks ago, we had a talk about the post problem that I actually had from chemotherapy, which was an infected PICC line. You put me onto the Healthy Brain and Heart Pack again. And I went back onto that, and let me say, the problems that I used to have that seemed like the angina attacks that I was getting, they're out the window. So all I'm saying to you, Doc, and to everybody who's listening, listen to what Doc says, because everything that he's fed me has kept me alive and it's kept me strong. So Doc, all I can say is thank you very, very much.
Well, thank you, Doug, for sharing your story. We really appreciate that. Your story will help save lots of people because, well, I wouldn't trust that Dr. Wallach, but boy, that Doug, he's one of ours. We're going to trust him. Thank you so much for sharing your story.
Thank you, Doc. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And I would just like to say thank you, Dr. Wallach, just for your time. Next week will be week number 34. Please invite anybody that you think is going to benefit, even if they want to listen in. This call is for everybody, and it doesn't matter where you are, and it doesn't matter what you do, and you can be a customer or just you don't have to participate. You can listen in. So thank you, Dr. Wallach. Thanks, Doug, for that good news story. Thanks for all the callers. Thanks, moderator Mike, who said in the comments just then, don't even feed gluten to your wombats.
I love it.
So, thank you very much, Andy. You can all unmute yourself and say thank you, Dr. Wallach, and see you next week.
God bless.
Thanks
Cheers.
again, Doc.
Good day. Okay, you
Thank
bet,
you
Doug.
very much.
Thank you, Doc. God
I
bless
love
you.
you guys. God
Thank
bless you too. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.